We got good support. That is what I think is amazing. I think it's amazing to feel that so many people unexpected coming out of nowhere saying, Pietro, we are here.
Hey there, everybody. You're with Dani Valent, and this is Dirty Linen. We always love a return guest on the podcast. Sometimes it's just because we love chatting to the person. Sometimes it's also because we want to see what's happened next. We first caught up with Pietro Porcu in mid-January in very difficult circumstances. His home and farm in Yarck had just been destroyed in the bushfires that swept through Victoria. We chatted to Pietro while he was standing in a blackened field. It was an awful moment and so important to mark it, to connect with him, to dive deep into the experience of something so shocking and terrible and devastating for the restaurant Danoi that he has run in South Yarra for decades. I've been wondering what's been happening over the months since, and I thought it was definitely time to catch up with Pietro and welcome him back to Dirty Linen. Pietro, thanks for coming back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back.
Tell me how things are on the farm.
Slow. Like the farm now is green. We had rains and feeling much better. Developments of the actual farm is going really, really slow. That is a bit annoying because we're getting into the winter and we're still cooking in a tent and it's really cold. We still have the Go and Find Me in our Instagram in Danoi that Romy, my daughter, is managing. We had very good results. Still didn't get as far as we wanted, but it's still going. We had many people helping. It's fantastic. All the locals, they've been like so helpful with anything, bringing hay, driving the hay to the paddocks for us because we don't have a tractor in this moment. We don't have anything yet. So everything is on the way, but it feels like nothing is moving sometimes, because we're getting colder and colder and we don't have the shed, we don't have a tractor, we don't have fencing. Land care, fantastic people. They help us to bring down all the fences that were burnt. Now the idea is in a couple of weeks, maybe coming back to help us. Our staff in Melbourne, our staff in the farm, been amazing. Sorry, pushing them so much, to help in every way. Blazade, another one that is, ready there to help us to put fencing. One concern, like something I'm really feeling is the government is not doing anything for us. They bring like grants that is impossible to reach. And, if we didn't have all these organizations around us, we were really like stuck, So hoping to get a little house soon that we bought like a tiny house, having problems to bring it in as well. Like everything seems like a little bit difficult, Then the councils, the same, they say, we give you a permit, but we still have to apply. We still have to go to every process that normally you do. They might approve faster, but that is it. We need to spend all the money to do it. And it's like, if I get a tractor, where I'm putting a tractor if you don't give me a shed? It's like, so sorry, I'm complaining, but it's like, we're trying, the farm is much better. We still not have fencing for our stock. They're all on top of each other. Goats and pigs and donkeys and cows all in one paddock is not fair either. We sitting in this little electrical heater outside.
Well, I mean, Pietro, what I'm hearing is a lot of disconnection with the services that are around to help you, or perhaps should be helping you.
I think all the help centers, and they've been fantastic, and having private people giving as much as they could to get everyone going, But like, I feel like, you bring out a grant that is that much money for the loss of business, and then you make it so impossible to reach to get approved. It's like, what are we doing? It's like, it's not fair. Like They should give us the money to keep going, because we've been paying taxes all our life. We still paying taxes every day of our lives right now, And it's like, where is your help? Why are we paying you? Yeah.
Doing all the admin that you must need to do. Admin is difficult at the best of times, but when I think about you, like, I don't know, balancing a laptop on your knee or trying to do all this on the phone while you're living in a tent, that must have an extra layer of challenge.
That is not nice, yes. And I'm not a champion with the laptop. I hate that stuff. But I have a lot of people. I have Romy helping me. Romy's my daughter, and friends ready to jump in. Like so much help it came and still come, and that is really good. It makes, like, somehow I thought this is teaching me that the world actually can be really good, But it's always the other part that is disturbing. They say you're the one that should be there for us, and it's not, And I know that many people is in my situation, like we living in caravans, people that is much older than me, living in a caravan. The winter is coming, most of us, we go to the toilet outside because the caravan doesn't have one, So if it's raining, you need to get out to go to the little room that you built it,
I mean, it's hard enough, as you describe it, it's hard enough for you. But of course, you have your daughter, you have community around you, not to diminish the hardship, but I'm also thinking of people who have not such an engaged and rich community as you built around yourself with the farm and the restaurant in the city.
Yes. And, I think I'm so lucky at the restaurant. I have my staff looking after it, and it's amazing, But so many people will be in the farm situation without anything else. And it's like, what are we doing with this? There's unfair, like, it's not Italy that 20 years later you still not have a house. There's Australia, we expect more, like.
Absolutely. Pietro, what's it been like to run the restaurant? The produce that you've grown for Dani in Yarck has been such a big part of the restaurant's ecosystem.
We are already producing a little bit. We push, like today or tomorrow, I'm planting the garlic because it's time. Sorry, no giving up. We're still producing a little bit. We're still going, We're still bringing eggs and a little bit of vegetables and the herbs, the rosemary, and, still taking to the noise. Also, we have friends, companies that they grow organically, and then we buying from them. Logically, we're buying so much more, but fair enough. This year was going to be so amazing. We had zucchini, like incredible. I produced zucchini flowers that they're like bigger than my hand, but not that big, but they're big. And it's all gone, but we still have we had kind of lucky the fire tent around, and I left a little corner of the garden. So we now busy trying to recover, to bring again seeds for next season, because I've been building plants for like 25 years. So I was using only my seeds, and to me it's very important. The seeds, the plants recognize where they live, and they get every year better,
And you mentioned the animals all there in the same paddock. For city girls like me who don't understand, tell me the problems with having the animals together like that.
They have different needs, different food, different times of the day, So pigs being with the goats is totally not good. The pigs are ruining the paddock for the goats, so the grass will not grow. The cows have different, so we cannot split them 2-3 times a day to feed and to give, different foods. And the hope is, like, the pigs need a paddock that they can destroy with the nose, and they dig and they find the roots, While the goats need a paddock that is not touched, that the grass grows nicely and they keep grazing, so it's important. Plus, we're not fenced even on the street. So sometimes we chasing our own animals to bring them back because they're getting close to the street, So like all this, we are getting help. So that will come, But it doesn't make it easier. Like in the meantime, I would love to run and be in Dani, in Dani. I got a little bit, and then I had to run to the farm again. I'm very lucky. My farm staff stayed with me. They're amazing. Those two sisters, I don't know, and a kickoff, fantastic.
Mm. Economically, it's not easy times for anybody in hospitality. The cost of goods is so high, and a lot of people are watching where they spend. With this extra burden, not being able to supply the restaurant with your own produce, and of course, you living in such difficult circumstances. How has that side of it been for you?
Okay, because Danoi is busy. Danoi, we have 30 years long customers that they come back and back to support. Like I had people saying, okay, normally they will buy a bottle of wine that'll be $80, $90. They say, give me that one, $300 bottle of wine. So you make more, and we drink better. So we got good support. That is what I think is amazing. I think it's amazing to feel that so many people unexpected coming out of nowhere saying, Pietro, we are here,
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, that makes good. The Sardinian people, the Sardinian chefs, Melbourne, Sydney, like Giovanni Pilo that you will know, they all came for organizing a big lunch. Again, all the profit is going to come to the farm. You see like things that you think, wow, this wolf is still okay, But you see, as I said before, you see other parts that you think, come on, guys, like why you sending the money to whatever, to the militaries and stuff, instead of giving us a house, like, do you understand? Like it feels really unfair. In the meantime, something positive about this destroying everything. We have what I call the free canvas to paint. So like a lot of plants, like, when you buy a farm, you go fencing going that direction, you go driveways that direction. Then when it's all free because it's nothing on, you think, okay, now I can do what I really feel, So we're going to plant almost half of the farm, all the hills. We're going to collaborate with land care, and they're giving us the trees. So we're fencing part that is not grazing anymore, trying to create like a road for the koalas. That'd be amazing. We might be getting approved to do some sort of wetland in a little part of the farm where we can create little islands for birds, that is pretty exciting. We can put a house where we want, our shed where we want, instead of normally you buy and you think, okay, that tree is there, so I respect that tree, I look after that tree. But if it was me, I wouldn't plant a tree there. That tree now is not there, so we plant the trees where we want. So that is very exciting. It's like a big challenge, but with a dream to see this farm totally different and green.
Yeah,
and
that's a very positive way of looking at it, and that does sound wonderful to preserve some of the land for wildlife. I mean, I can hear the birds in the background now. I mean, what has this whole experience taught you about nature, the way that nature works, the way that nature recovers?
Yeah, the grounds of the permaculture is sort of coming to me without really knowing what exactly permaculture is and not just what it's about. But I find myself just walking around in this bare land now, not fencing, that is actually beautiful to not have a fence. It's like you drive or you walk through. Just listening to this land, and like trying to understand what the land is asking, where to put which tree, where to put which animal, and how should we manage all this to make this place happy to serve the land and not to use the land, And I think this situation always been in my heart, but this is naturally coming to me, to open to it, And I think the end result will be thank you, fires, not today, but soon.
Wow, that's really beautiful. So it's almost like you could listen to the land speak to you in a new way.
Yeah. Or actually, maybe really shutting myself up to listen to the land. Yeah. Because normally we're too busy thinking that's what we want, and we break anything to get what we want, what we think we want. Yeah. And results doesn't have to be the best. Yeah. In this case, it's like very opening to like, that's what we have. That is what the land is saying, and then we can change, like we can try to fit in instead of making the land fitting us, like it's different. Yeah. So the wildlife, all the important things, we can look after them and have ourselves a better life at the end, much better life. Yeah. And if we produce a much healthier produce to take to Melbourne again, or whatever we would take,
That's really profound, Pietro. I mean, how do you feel like you've changed as a person over the past 5 months?
I feel like I accept reality more. I think humbleness comes naturally. You think, okay, I don't have a house. Don't have to be sad. Like I don't have a shed. I don't have a tractor. Let's live with that. Because again, we wake up every day. Then we can do things. We can go and have breakfast. We put an hot coffee on. We do with our house. Like, and the coffee is good, by the way. So, you think we run, our mind is going boom, 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 like this, that, get the house bigger or that, this, At the end, it's like, it's not really important, I have moments here like now that, especially in the evening, the night when everything comes, that you feel like, wow, you're blessed, I've been without anything.
Wow, you're teaching me. Is there anything else you want to say, Pietro?
I want to say thank you to everyone that has been there for us. That's for sure. Thank you to you as well. That you're there as well. And like so many names and that comes in my head that in this moment I don't remember. But so many organizations, so many people just jumping in, giving us support, and it's been amazing. Yeah. And I hope other people like me is having the same support and the same strength to keep going.
I hope so as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat. We'll stay in touch. Really moved by the journey that you're on. Thanks so much for chatting to us again.
Yeah, sure. I think I moved as well.
This is Dirty Linen. I'm Dani Valent. We bring you untold stories from the food world. Real, raw, unafraid, hopeful. We're driven by a belief that food provides endless opportunities for learning, connecting, and creating the world we want to live in. Delicious, open-hearted, meaningful. If you know a story that needs telling, get in touch. Write to dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au. Thank you for listening.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.